The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contest, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/The Podcasting Dead.
All right, it's time to jump into a review of Episode 8, Season 1. The Walking Dead World Beyond. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. If you're unfamiliar with our channel, be sure and check it out. We talk a lot of Walking Dead stuff. We cover Fear the Walking Dead, The Walking Dead. We even do a podcast about Walking Dead what-ifs with different what-if-this would have happened scenarios and how we think it would have played out. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, make sure to check out our channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, and if nothing else, just give this video a like, or this audio, depending on where you're listening from. So we're talking about episode 8 of The World Beyond, and I'm not going to lie, it was pretty boring. However, there were some saving grace moments that we'll talk about for this, because I'm not going to completely dog this episode. I actually liked last week's, and up to that point, I don't think I liked really any of them.
Right.
And I liked last week's. This one wasn't that good, but like I said, it wasn't a complete dumpster fire. It was not awful.
Gotcha.
And, JP, unfortunately, wasn't able to catch it. JP works pretty much, second shift, but technically third
I
shift.
get home about 11:30, so by the time I watch Fear the Walking Dead, and, of course, we have to be here super early, I couldn't do it. And it's not like I'm stoked to watch the show at this point, so it's not like I'm going to make myself stay up till 3 a.m.
And then turn around and get up at like 6:30 to be at this job.
Yeah, and especially, man, after I was so disappointed with the Fears mid-season finale, man, I was in no mood for more Walking Dead last night.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. This one, it wasn't that bad, but so I'm going to kind of explain it to JP, and we'll go so number one, the kid that plays Silas.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was a bad actor, but he hadn't really. He hadn't been written in a way where he got to really flex his acting per se. Mm-hmm. He's just been, and I mean, like, they've written him to be the most cliche, like, weirdo of the group that they could. Why is it every weirdo that has a psycho side has long hair, for one? Kind of taking the Rob Zombie, Michael Myers origin story approach here.
Yeah.
But when we see his flash, I really did feel for his character. I actually really liked Silas's backstory, and it was as cliche as it could be. Dad and him once had a great relationship. Then his dad became an alcoholic, maybe due to the circumstances they were in with the world ending and stuff. I don't know. But his dad at one point was this really good guy. They had this really great scene that I related to, because one of the few things in life my dad and I connect with is our love of rock music. So I really related to that scene. It's like they're sitting, Silas is a little kid, and his dad is telling him, like, what concerts used to be like, and how he missed concerts, and he basically goes, you want to see what it would sound like to be at a concert? And he takes the boombox and he turns it wide open, and, they're laying on the floor right next to the boombox, and he's just telling them about he saw AC/DC back in the 80s and how they about basically broke the place in half. It was so loud and fun, and really, I truly felt like a really touching moment, really tragic, because then his dad becomes an alcoholic, and it was exactly as everybody thought it was going to be. His dad more or less goes into an alcoholic rage and starts choking him, and so Silas beats him. He beats him to death, but at first he doesn't die. His dad, he just beats the living crap out of, and his dad's still kind of hanging in there. But at some point, this lady the neighbor comes to the door and says that the walls are thin. She at first thought the dad was beating the mom. So she comes there to save the mom and Silas, and then he says his mom's at work. So she tells him, you can come with me now, because she says something about your sorry excuse for a father, whatever. And Silas tells her leave. And, he blacks out, which is just kind of the cliche thing to do. Oh, I've got this rage side, but I have to black out in order for it to happen. Which blackouts do happen in times of extreme stress and rage. I know that's some real world stuff there, but Silas then closes the door and goes back, and his dad's gone where he was laying on the floor. It's just blood behind. And then his dad's now a walker. Mm-hmm. And it was I felt a really touching scene where Silas, gets his dad off of him, and he goes and locks himself in his bedroom, and he puts his headphones on and lays on the floor like he did as a kid listening to rock music. And the kid that plays Silas did a fantastic job. Like, his acting hadn't impressed me in the show, and that's not, again, due to his acting per se, more so just the way they've written his character. But when we got to actually see the emotion, that he experienced with, his dad being the way he was. I mean, the kid can act. He's got the completely changed my opinion. I think he's a good actor. I think that he just hadn't been written in a way that allowed him to, really flex that. But so we learn his backstory, and we don't know still if he killed the magician uncle and that kid. Yeah, the other kid's gone. We don't know where he is. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking now the way they're going to spin it is, nope, that other guy killed his uncle for some reason. Huh. And then, because, but, they have a moment where, because Hope thinks that he did it, and Iris doesn't think he did it. So they have him, this scene where he's tied to the swings, and they're kind of discussing should they leave him or whatever, and they're all being somewhat nice to him except for Hope. Hope thinks that he totally did it and whatever, but like a walker gets in and starts, he kind of just lays back and accepts that he's going to die, and Hope now apparently is efficient at killing zombies, so she shows up and kills a zombie, and it's like, why didn't you say anything? But at the end, it was dumb, because Iris is like, it's not dumb, let me rephrase that. I get what they're going for, but it's just not. Like, Iris is like, just tell me that you didn't do it, and I'll believe you. And he won't say he didn't do it. He could have said, Iris, I don't know. Yeah. I was drunk. I know I black out, but instead, he does the cliche, like, there's something wrong with me. I really enjoyed getting to know you. I hope you make it. And then he walks off. I like Elton's character. Mm-hmm. I really do. The kid is got a weird disposition considering the circumstances he's in, but I like Elton. And Elton decides, that Silas, they don't know that he's guilty, and that, it was, again, very cliche. I haven't had a family for a long time, and this is my family, and that's, you don't turn your back on family. And then, he wants to go with Silas so that he's not alone, and that, he's like, if nobody believes in him, he'll never, yada, yada, yada. It was touching, but it's been done a million times. So then, but you had a good scene, the big bomb, well, there's a couple bombshells, but one of the big bombshells, Hope finally tells Elton she killed his mom.
Oh, nice.
Like, Elton tells Hope, I'm leaving. I'm going to go find Silas. I can't give up on him, and honestly, being with your dad, it's made me think, my mom and sister might be out there somewhere. Mm-hmm. And, Hope's really good acting from Hope. Like, that was a really well done scene between both her and Elton. Like, Hope starts kind of choking up, and she's like, but what if they're not? You can't go out there chasing something that's not. So she realizes that if she doesn't tell him that his mom's dead, he's going to spend forever looking for someone he's not going to find. Yeah. So she tells him. All of that I enjoyed. That was some good, good acting, good, in my opinion, good storytelling. Like, she drops a bombshell on him, and, she gives him the necklace that she had got. She had the little marble piece from the mom or whatever. She gives that to him, and, he leaves, and he's all, it's just a really good scene, him being a good actor. I mean, he kind of falls down, and there's a walker, and he kind of takes the necklace and puts it on, and number one, as someone who backpacks and hikes frequently, he's breaking like one of the big rules of backpacking, which is you cannot carry too much weight. This kid's got like suitcases and a backpack, and if he's carrying a freaking grand piano. He's not, but I'm saying he's just got like ridiculous amounts of stuff, and it's like, kid can't weigh no more than 100 pounds soaking wet,
right?
And you're easily carrying what looks to be like 60s. I mean, like on backpack, they tell you on day hikes, you don't want to carry no more than 10% of your body weight. On backpacking trips, you really don't want to try and go more than 20% of your weight. I mean, this kid's easily carrying 50, 60% of his body weight. Like, you're going to wear out really quickly. But, he goes after Silas. All that was well and good. It's just the pacing of the episode was so slow. But I actually did enjoy Silas's backstory, and it was super predictable. I mean, I think that we, or either some listeners of ours at some point, had said, I think he killed his dad because he was an alcoholic. Or I think the only thing we got wrong was we thought like the dad was beating the mom. So then, no, the dad was straight up beating the hell out of Silas. And it was one of those things where the mom gets home, right? Mm-hmm. The dad is a walker. Like, that's what gets so Silas goes and he lays in his room and he's listening to music, and he's playing it out loud at first, so his dad's trying to, he's a zombie, he's trying to get in the room, but then he puts the headphones in, turns it all the way up, to which probably ruptured his eardrum.
Right.
But he puts the headphones on and just lays there and drifts off. Well, then the tape ends, and he looks under the door and realizes his dad's gone.
Yeah.
So then he hears the front door open, and it's his mom, and she's calling for him. She's like, Silas. I keep wanting to call him Cyrus. Silas. Well, then, he opens the door, rushes down, and the dad's jumped on the mom, trying to eat her. I consider this a very Laurie moment, and I'll tell you why. Because, he jumps on her, he's trying to eat her. Silas throws him down, takes his head, and beats it on the floor till he's dead.
Yeah.
Really good scene. Again, the kid really can act. I mean, some good acting from the kid that plays, I think. But then the mom is like, stay away from me.
Yeah.
He was. Your husband was just clearly a walker and trying to eat you. I get you're in shock, but I mean, my God, and the mom knows how the dad is. It's just, I compare it to like Laurie telling Rick something needs to be done about Shane. Then Rick tells them that he killed Shane, and not only he didn't take Shane out in the pasture and put him down. Shane lied, manipulated, and led him out there in order to kill him. So he killed Shane before Shane could kill him. And Laurie's like, don't touch me. Like, that's just not real reaction, man. I can understand the mom being in shock, but I mean, that's your little boy. Your husband, beats him, and your husband was just trying to eat you.
Yeah.
Your son just saved your life. And I mean, maybe I took that scene wrong. But it definitely looked like she's like, stay back. Like, don't come any closer to me. And I'm like, way to just screw your kid's head up, man. This kid just freaking risked his life to save you and had to kill his own father, which, abusive or not, is definitely going to leave some trauma and some scars there. Way to be a good mom, and make him now feel like a freak for saving his mom's life. So that I didn't really like, but, whatever. But then we get the bombshell.
Oh, boy.
Bombshell that Huck is a spy.
She's a saboteur?
I don't know if she's a saboteur. She doesn't seem like she's there necessarily to sabotage anything. What was interesting is, so after the episode, we see Elizabeth, head of like the CRM military, and she's in her little trailer thing or whatever, wherever she's at, chilling, and a guy basically is saying like she, blah, 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 referencing she. And I started thinking, oh man, are they talking about Huck? So then she tells him, let her in. And in walks Huck. That ending was great. Like, this is the schnit that I want from this show. Leave the Disney Channel, we're family together, we can do this guy's bullshit behind, and give me more of this.
Right.
But in walks Huck. And you and I have both said that Huck is probably our favorite character on this show. Definitely in like the tops, because it's not a lot of competition there for favorite character. I think Hope, Huck, and I like Felix. I feel like he's an underutilized character, but I mean, I like the character. I just don't love the character. Whereas we got Huck's backstory, man, and I loved it. I mean, we both.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get to see any of this episode, but you did see her backstory last episode before you passed out.
Everything except the very end where she guns down her compadres.
Yeah, so, which it's conflicting because I like Huck, and I really want to believe that she is working for them, but she's not evil. She's just doing what she's told. But also, something was said. She said, is the asset safe? And Huck said, yes, they're safe. We don't know. I don't. And if you do, listener, please let us know in the comments below. A lot of our listeners dig into this way more than we have time to. Who is the asset? Because she said the asset, is the asset. So somebody in that group, Huck's there to protect and keep tabs on. So who is the asset? I feel like it's going to be Hope.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be Hope. I feel like, because I'm going to tell you, Hope's sister, Iris, man, I don't care one iota for that character. Not one teensy-tiny little bit. And again, for me, it's not, I don't like to blame actors a lot of times, because you got to realize, I mean, yes, sometimes people are terrible actors, but also there are so many other things at play, what they've got to work with, the cinematography. I've seen some movies that are panned as like the actors are terrible, when I'm like, it's not so much the actors are terrible, it's the lines are horrible, the cinematography is way off, like they're filming them at completely wrong angles. it's a lot of factors that go into play, whereas you might have a good actor in a terrible production.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be the case with Iris. I'm not going to sit here and say that girl's a bad actress. I need to watch something else she's in to make that determination. But I don't like her character one bit. Like the whole Silas thing, she's like crying over it. And then I also find that Silas, she had thrown away some pictures she had, I guess, drawn of herself. And Silas, when he was a janitor, picked them up and he kept them.
I saw the very first scene. I did see that.
Yeah, and she pulls that out. Huck is the one to pull that out and say, you kind of forced me to do this. I won't say anything. But so then they think, of course, what we had thought, like, oh, well, he's got jealous of this kid and murdered him and his uncle because they were messing with Iris. But now I'm thinking Silas totally didn't do it. I'm thinking that kid murdered his uncle for some reason and took off. And maybe Silas should have done it. I mean, that's how you add some good drama to this story. Like, Silas did do it. Like, he does have this very dangerous side to him that, really has this Lenny from, of Mice and Men kind of feel to it. Like, we love him and we want to, but we can't keep him around. Kind of like Rick was with Carol. Like, love her. She's family, but she's dangerous. And there's no telling who she will hurt, completely... with all the best intentions, or even not even me, so it's kind of, Silas should have killed them. I hope it's revealed Silas did in fact kill them, or maybe he killed the uncle and, the nephew ran away, and that's why we haven't seen him. Like, maybe Silas kills the uncle and is like, if I ever see you again, I'll kill you too, or something. Like, that's what I need. That's some good drama, leads to some very tough decisions to have to be made through the course of the show, whatever. But, Iris, Hope kills a zombie pretty effortlessly. We actually see Silas pick up a 2x4 and whack a zombie one time and kill it. So they're starting to become zombie killers.
Okay. I
mean, Iris is still sitting there with her stupid stick tied to a rock thing, which every time I see her holding that, I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't get that.
It was overall a decent episode. I won't sit here and say it was god-awful or I hated it. I mean, I genuinely was invested in the story, and it was a lot of cliches, very predictable. But with that said, I really liked the bombshell at the end, man. When Huck came walking up in there, I was like, holy crap. Huh. And like I said, I don't know that she's a saboteur, but she's, and we find out that when she went on that 48-hour reconnaissance mission, just kind of scouting ahead and stuff, that's where she went. I mean, we did catch up with her a little bit in the flashbacks where she wakes up in that house and gets ready and kind of goes back to the group. But apparently before that, she went and met with Elizabeth.
Huh.
So the big question's obviously, who is the asset and why are they an asset?
Yeah.
What about them makes them an asset? Do we think that they have some key to the cure for this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Do we think maybe they have information? I mean, I know you hadn't got to watch the last episode and a half, but I mean, what would your thoughts be with that? I've been talking enough. What are your thoughts?
I wish I had more to add, man. Maybe there's something in her, like genetic something or another. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll find that. I don't know. Maybe Hope has like a scar and always has thought it was this, but in reality, as a kid, she got bit, but she never turned. Something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know. Well, no. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, I'm kind of mixing myself up here, and let me know in the comments below, please. Huck did go see Elizabeth. Was that a flashback or was that current? So I might have been completely wrong everything I said up to this point. Now that I'm thinking about it, it played after the episode, and they gave no indication that it was a flashback.
Yeah.
So maybe Huck has once again gotten, because we know, the last time she scouted ahead, we saw her wake up in that house and kind of get ready, and, she cleaned her gun or whatever, and then she, went out back to the group. So, maybe this wasn't maybe she didn't go to see Elizabeth during that reconnaissance mission. Maybe she's actually gotten away from him again.
Yeah.
Because my main reason for thinking that, or for bringing that up, is I was thinking, so wait a minute. I was going to say, so we know Silas and Elton aren't the assets because they've separated, and she said the asset is safe. But if it was a flashback, then they would have all been together. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to pin down who the asset might be.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking, well, if it's a flashback, then all of them were together. So, of course, it could still be anybody. But if this happened after the whole Silas wandering off and Elton going after him, then the asset is safe. Would insinuate to me that she's saying it's either Hope, Iris, or Felix.
Yeah, and their father that, the CRM took to wherever they are, he basically adopted Hope and Iris, right? So maybe he adopted one or both of them because he knew there was something special about them. Is more about his research and the fact that he wanted to be, a surrogate father.
Could be, and maybe they found out about that, once they took him to where they were going. Maybe he shared that with them, and
it would be a little on the nose. Hope is the last hope for humanity. That seems like the kind of thing the show would do.
Yeah.
Oh, her name is Hope, and she holds the cure, and
And we've heard that in the show a lot.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Was it The Walk? It was something where it was talking about. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Rogue One. I watched Rogue One again yesterday, and I know some Star Wars fans are gonna throw some jabs in the comments. But I was telling JP earlier, man, I saw Rogue One a while back, and then I rewatched it last weekend, and then I was helping out a friend of ours, just kind of watching his comic shop for a few hours, and they have a TV, and I couldn't watch anything but Disney Plus. So I just watched The Mandalorian's newest episode, so I rewatched Rogue One, and Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies ever. I love Rogue One. It's an awesome war flick. It's fantastic. But at the end, when Princess Leia's they're like, "What did they give you?" And she's like, "Hope. They've given us hope." That's what I was thinking about.
Okay.
But no, that would be, God, that is going to be. Well, you know what, though? Was Hope always her name?
I have no idea.
Need to go back to the beginning, because that would be interesting if you found out. Now, I could go a little bit. It would be more. It would still be on the nose, but I would be more forgiving of it if he named her Hope after realizing she had some kind of key to stopping this thing. Maybe he adopted her, and she was a little kid when she shot that woman. So maybe, but if you're old enough to hold a gun and shoot someone, I think you'd be old enough to remember what your name is.
Yeah.
That would have been the way to write it. If they're going that angle, if maybe Hope has something in her DNA that can combat the infection or whatnot, that would be more understandable if he then, if he found her as a baby and he named her Hope because she had she was our last hope.
Yeah, yeah.
But then if you're just like, oh no, the stars are aligned and her parents named her Hope, and then down the road that's going to be a little.
Yeah.
But we got a 2-episode season finale, and let me know, dear listeners and viewers of The Walking Dead, because I honestly don't know. Being Fear the Walking Dead's mid-season finale was last night, are they going to air episode 1 at 9 o'clock and episode 2 at 10 o'clock, or are they just going to do episode 1 this Sunday, episode 2 next Sunday? And dear God, please don't tell me they're going to do episode 1 is 10 to 11, episode 2 is 11 to 12. I can't stay up that late.
No.
That's why I don't get to watch The Talking Dead. As much as I love Chris Hardwick and I love The Talking Dead. I mean, for me back in the day, especially I think around I remember the first episode of The Talking Dead I watched was after the season 2 mid-season finale of The Walking Dead, where Sophia came out the barn. Yeah. And that was the first time I had watched The Talking Dead. And it used to be one of my favorite parts. I'd go to my parents' house, watch The Walking Dead with my dad, and then stay there and watch The Walking Dead. Then we'd stay there and watch The Talking Dead. But being it comes on so damn late now, I haven't been able to keep up with it. But from what we were told in the comments section, you ready for this?
Yes.
What we were told in the comments section by a listener, and I don't have my phone in front of me, so I do apologize, dear listener, for not giving you the proper shout-out and credit you deserve. I'll try and do that the next one. But someone commented and asked if we got a chance to watch The Talking Dead, because on there, the guy that plays the character Silas was asked to describe the finale in 3 words or something. And one of the words he used was Rick.
Oh, wow.
One of the words was Rick. Now, we've seen listeners comment in the comment section saying that it's been confirmed Rick's not going to be on the show or he's not going to be in the finale. But, I mean, is anything really confirmed?
Well, Michonne found his boots. Maybe in this episode they'll show his coat or something.
I still can't get over the fact that she sniffed him.
I
know you want to take in the smell of someone you love, but it's from one of the, aside from sniffing his drawers right at the, part where he would have got a wedgie, that's one of the nastiest parts of Rick's foot fungus.
Yeah.
I miss that man. Ugh. I don't know why I'm giving Michonne a country accent. well, I've been with Rick. Like, Michonne, Denai Guerrera herself is a very well-spoken lady. She speaks very, very well. And, Michonne herself speaks very well, almost on the line of elegantly when she needs to. So, but it's like, well, I've been with Rick now for several years in my country. It's like those. I don't know if you've seen those TikTok videos where they'll be like 1 day of living in Texas, then it'll come back and be like 1 week living in Texas, and then it'll be like, hot dog, I've been here a month living in Texas. Your accent gradually grows.
Right.
She'd be like, 1 day with Rick Grimes, 1 month with Rick Grimes. Coral, it's been 5 months.
Oh, Lord.
But no, Michonne did find, and you're right. I mean, totally, Rick might not be on there, but maybe the after credit scene or more CRM might say, bring the next patient in, Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. I mean, I want Andy Lincoln. I want to see you. I mean this in the most straight way I can. I miss your beautiful face. I want to see Andy Lincoln on the screen again. I miss Rick Grimes. We started the show with Rick Grimes. Rick Grimes, for most of us, is the entire reason why we love The Walking Dead. Yes, we have some amazing characters like Daryl. We love us some Victor Strand, JP in a much more sexual way than myself. But we also love King Ezekiel. We've gotten some wonderful characters from this show, but Rick Grimes is the glue that held it all together for most of us. I want to see Rick on screen. So, but with that said, I will totally accept a name drop or an article of clothing or just something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something. I need some Rick Grimes in my life.
Well, time will tell. A couple more weeks, and I think I might actually be off in a couple of Sundays so I can watch it. Maybe we'll do something.
It's next Sunday, so.
Oh, it's like this coming Sunday. That's
Yes.
going to be the finale?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it's only 10 episodes, and they've been through 8, and they're having a 2-episode finale.
Oh, right.
Now, if they do 1 episode on Sunday and then the 10th, which I just don't feel like they would have called it a 2-episode finale if they were going to put them on different Sundays. It's like, okay, well, every finale is a 2-episode finale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I feel like they're going to air them back to back. I feel like that's it. Otherwise, the phrasing 2-episode finale just kind of, I don't know. I mean, even if they have like a giant cliffhanger, okay, well, still, it's not a 2-episode finale if they're not aired back to back. But if they're aired back to back, why not just have a 2-hour? I mean, which then again, I know they had a 10-episode order to fill, but I just feel like then instead of a 2-episode finale, why not just call it the 2-hour finale? God, I'm gonna tell you what though. I mean, and hopefully it'll be great. But the track record of this show for being the world of bore. And imagine if they were like, no, we're not going to do 9 and 10 o'clock. We're going to do 10 and 11 o'clock. You mean to tell me I have to force myself to stay up? I already struggle to stay awake to the end because of how early I get up for work. Now you're telling me I have to. If that's the case, I'm just going to call in sick from work.
Oh, my gosh. You behave.
I'm just going to straight up just be like, you're not coming in tomorrow. I'm sick.
Behave.
But I don't know. Like I said, in closing, this episode I did not hate. But it didn't blow my mind in any way, shape, or form. But the bombshell of Huck being, I guess you could call her a spy, that was pretty damn sweet. I didn't see that coming, and now I'm conflicted because I love Huck. She's probably my favorite. Huck is my favorite character on this show. Followed by like a tie between Felix and Hope. I like them both. I think they've got a lot of potential. I just don't think it's been used yet. However, Huck really liked the character. And so how conflicting was it to see her come in as like a spy?
That's cool, man.
And now I want to know who's the asset. And when, again, please, listeners, you're smarter than I am. Let me know in the comments, like, when did this take place? When she talked to Elizabeth and told her that the asset's safe, and Elizabeth was like, get in the shower, which I imagine wasn't an indication of anything freaky. Good job, my spy. Now, shower time.
Oh, God.
CRM, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, but let me know, like, when did that happen? Was that a flashback or was that current? Was that after that episode? We're seeing that, like, she got away from him again. or was that while she? I just at first glance thought it was saying that happened during her little reconnaissance mission.
Sure.
And two, what is Elizabeth in? Is she in like some little mobile trailer? I mean, to be that close to Huck, close enough that Huck could walk to get to her and be back in 48 hours. I mean, she's got to be relatively close. I mean, are they like following a highway with like a convoy and a pull behind trailer or something?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's a little outpost or something.
What if it was Dale's RV?
Oh my God, dude!
Which I think that thing's pretty much destroyed. But it's like we found this, the CRM. She's like the elite. She's like, we found this crappy little RV on the side of the road in Virginia.
I told you to behave.
Dale's ghost is in the window making Dale face. I know what kind of organization you. Shut up, Dale.
When was the last time we saw that RV? When did they?
It got confusing, man. I don't know. So they had the RV, and Dale was dead, but it was used at the farm. It was you because remember Beth's boyfriend. I can't even remember his name at this point. I'm sure if I thought hard enough, I could. Started with a J, I think. But he pulls up to the barn for Rick and Carl to get off, and then the zombies just come through the door somehow. Like I guess maybe he didn't latch it properly or something. But remember, he got 8 in the van, and we got that gnarly like blood squirt on the van.
Yeah.
I mean, on the RV windows, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was overrun with zombies, so I thought it was lost at the. At the farm. But then, there's an RV. I mean, there's an RV that Rick shoots those people through. Rick's driving the RV, and, those people are creeping up on the side, and Rick guns them down with the AK, and then that's the same RV that they were driving to take Maggie to the hilltop when Negan intercepted them. And
okay, well, that's probably a different one, I guess.
then Negan, kept the RV, but they looked alike. I'm like, that's not Dale's RV, right? Like, after all this time, I mean, you got to think how long they were on the road. Like without a vehicle, I mean, surely they didn't just say, all right, and we want to drive back to the farm and pick up that RV. So I thought it was lost in season 2.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
But she'd be like, we stopped at this little shitty farm, and we found this RV, had a couple dead bodies in it. It's a shitty little RV, but then you just see Dale in the window or like he's in the bathroom taking a shit, his ghost, and he just pops out with Dale face.
Maybe Dale survived. Who knows?
If you've watched The Walking Dead itself, which I hope to God you have, you know that Dale face I'm talking about. The face he's making at Shane. The face he makes at Andre. I like Dale's character. JP didn't like Dale. I like Dale.
I mean, it's nice to look back and laugh at him.
I was very sad. I remember Dale's death making everybody in the room silent. Like when that episode happened, I remember my dad, my mom, my sister, like nobody made a sound. It just like hit you right in the gut. And I remember my buddy Cameron was late to the party. He didn't get into The Walking Dead until about season 3 or 4. It was like season 4. No, yeah, I know he was caught up enough to watch the season 5 premiere with us. So somewhere in season 4 is where he had jumped in and started from the beginning. And I remember because he was staying in my house a couple of nights a week because I lived out of town and he was working near where I lived. But I remember watching the Dale episode with him and him just being like, damn, man.
No, I was ready for Dale to go, man. I didn't like him.
Well, I know what kind of a man you are.
Like that whole speech he gave, like Shane's rationale is, we got to make some adjustments so we're not ripped apart and eaten alive by the living dead. And Dale's just like, no, I'm fine with that. I'll keep my morals and just get ripped open. And I'm just like...
Well, there was one thing Dale said that I agree with you because Dale's like, this world is the survival of the fittest, and I don't want to be a part of that. Well, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Jesus Christ.
It is survival of the fittest. I mean, I understand I'm 100% on Team Dale when it comes to you need to find ways in which you can keep your humanity, but you also have to find a balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just keep acting like it was. I mean, you have to realize that, yes, when the opportunity presents itself to be kind or to do something humanitarian, you take it, but you also have to realize sometimes you're going to have to make some really harsh decisions because you no longer live. It's easy to be a good person when you have society, and the toughest choice of the day is, do I want a large frappuccino or a small frappuccino? But now you got people and things trying to kill you. Of course, it's survival of the fittest. He just said that because he was so out of shape.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of it. Y'all need to protect me and be nice while you do it. I don't know why I give all of the Walking Dead characters, because Dale did not have a country accent.
No.
It's just so much funnier when I imagine him with a country accent. But yeah, old Dale face. So I imagine if and it's not his RV. I'm completely aware of that. But I imagine if it was, Dale's spirit's there, just in the corner making Dale face.
God.
Where's Andrew? Could you imagine, if you will? Could you imagine if The Walking Dead, if Dale would have survived? Because we know the actor that played Dale wanted to be written off that show.
Yeah.
Because of the whole Frank Darabont beef. You know, he was good friends with Frank Darabont. When AMC screwed him over, he asked to be written off the show. And can you imagine if he didn't? We would have eventually had Dale and Andrea knocking boots.
Oh.
Dale in the comics was a much more, I mean, he looked similar, but he was a much more like, Dale in the show looked completely harmless.
Yeah.
He was just like a friendly old grandpa. The Dale in the comics reminded me of like that alcoholic grandpa who was old and you might take him, but he would definitely knock your ass around a little bit before he put you down. I mean, he won't necessarily muscular, but he was a little bit more grizzled and, like tough old man look. And, in the comics, of course, he was banging out Andrea for a while. Can you imagine if we would have had like a Dale and Andrea sex scene? Just imagine it with me now. Let's paint the picture before we wrap this up. Paint the picture. What kind of music do you think would have been playing?
God, probably like some Artie Shaw. I don't know.
I know what kind of a woman you are. And then just imagine him making Dale face while making love to Andrea. Like maybe Andrea says something super kinky. She's like, oh, yeah. Excuse my language. This is about to go a little NC-17 here. I apologize. But imagine she's like, yeah, Dale, yeah. Oh, yeah, spit in my mouth. And then he's just like making Dale face at her. Like he's sitting there doing her, but like he's making Dale face the whole time.
Oh, my God.
Shane's in the window making Dale face at them. Which actually Shane would have been long dead. They wouldn't have started hooking up until about somewhere in the prison saga, I think, is where they started knocking boots. But can you imagine if Dale would have made it to the prison and we would have had a Dale and Andrea sex scene?
I want to say in the comic they were smashing before the prison.
Oh, were they? It's been a while since
I might be wrong, but because I feel like I remember at some point later on her making a comment about, banging Dale, he's just a weird guy, but she wanted kind of be in the VIP section of the RV.
True. Well, I think you're right. In fact, I could almost say with certainty I know you're right, because the reason I'm saying that is because I think about that scene in the prison in the comics where they're laying in bed and he basically tells her, like, why are you banging me? I'm some old man. You're this hot young girl. So that's probably why I'm thinking prison. But that's when they kind of got... When they were in the prison, they were kind of more than banging, though. Like, once they got to the prison, they were like full-fledged relationship. Yeah. So maybe that's why I'm thinking prison. But you're probably right. They were probably knocking boots in the RV. But I just imagine, I imagine you'd hear that song, ooh, I'm falling in love. Oh. I'm falling in love with you. She, rips his wife beater off, and it's just his gut and hair, and she's running her hands through his hair, and the whole time he's just standing there making Dale face at her, holding his rifle. I'm gonna show you what kind of man. Wasn't that all right? I'm gonna close. I'm just having too much fun with Dale. What was it that we got mixed up a few months back where we thought somebody's
It was a Walking Dead what if.
It was the Dale, yeah.
Yeah, the question was, what if Dale had have exposed Shane or something like that, and it kind of came off as, what if Dale had have exposed himself to Shane?
That's it. Yeah. Just imagine him Shane's like, give me the guns. You want a gun, son? He drops his pants. He's standing there making Dale face. He's like, I know what kind of a man you are. And then the music would have queued up. Ooh, I'm falling. That's why Shane hated him so much. He loved him so furiously. It became hate. And then next thing, instead of Andrea and Dale hooking up down the road, it would have been Shane and Dale.
Jesus Christ.
This is how boring The Walking Dead World Beyond is. Much like Season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead, it puts us... we start off talking about it, and then we go, but at least we're staying on the topic of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So there's that, which, again, this episode, it did not bore me that bad. I mean, it was slow, as they all are, but it was one of the better of the episodes, much like last week. So maybe there's a little hope. I don't think this will definitely not going to go down as one of the greatest things The Walking Dead's done, but maybe there's some saving grace for it just yet. We'll see when we get the 2-episode finale.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm falling in love. You know what song I'm talking about? You don't, do you?
I don't.
All right, I'm going to play this, and then we're going to go. I'm falling in love with you. Oh, man. And what I always think about this song because it was in the scene. It was in the scene of Out Cold where the two dudes are on like a lesbian chat room and they think they're chatting with lesbians and getting all hot and sexual, but they don't realize they know each other. You know, they work.
Right.
They're actually just getting each other off. Like they're doing online. That's back when like cyber sex was kind of a new thing, but they were having cyber sex with each other. And that song plays. Let me see. I'm falling in love. I'm falling. Let me see what song this is. Hold on. Let's see. What is this? Lyrics. Teenage Love. Is it Teenage Love? I've never known what the song was called. It's just always. That's not it at all. JP, do some impressions. Let me find the song. I want to set the scene for the Dale Shane Love Fest.
I don't know.
Ooh, I'm falling in love. Let's see. Come on, JP, fill in the time.
I don't know.
I think it's Gloria Stefan. Okay. All right, just set the scene here. Make sure it's the right one. I don't remember the song. That's not it. Why can't I find it? You know what? I'm just going to go to that Out Cold scene. And then we're going to go. I know you're probably bored if you're stuck with us. Thank you for hanging in there.
Oh.
Out Cold cyber sex. Let's see if that pulls it up. Did the world forget about Out Cold? Like nothing.
I never watched that movie.
You never saw that?
I never watched it. No.
That movie's awesome. Here we go. It's got Dangle from Reno 911. Let's see. I can't believe you've never seen Out Cold. I mean, it's totally an early 2000. It came out in like 2000 or 2001, but it's got that, you know, totally 90s humor. Shane's rubbing Dale's chest hair.
Yeah.
They're in the woods, and he's like, "I got a gun for you, son." No, but for real, Andrea and Dale in the RV making love, and this is what I imagine.
I don't want to see that, but I guess
the whole time he's making Dale face. You know, he's got his head kind of cocked up, and he's like, All right, we bored you enough. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. I know we kind of went off the rails at the end there, but I mean, hey, we gotta. This show's kind of boring. We got to find ways to talk about The Walking Dead and enjoy ourselves. But if you enjoyed the podcast, the silliness, the discussion, make sure you click the subscribe button. If nothing else, just before you go, drop a like. That helps us out a ton. It gives the YouTube something about YouTube algorithms, and it'll suggest our videos. So I think they've heard a few of our Weird Wednesdays because our videos used to get recommended a lot more. And our view count used to be a lot higher. And it could totally be that we just suck ass. But, you know, I think since we've started talking conspiracies, which we don't all believe in, and we just discuss them. We talk about either, you know, something conspiracy or supernatural, something weird for Weird Wednesday. I feel like YouTube's been like, okay, these guys know what's going on. Let's shut their channel down. But nonetheless, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for hanging out. And don't forget to check out our Fear the Walking Dead mid-season finale review as well. We'll see you on Wednesday for Weird Wednesday Patreons. We'll see you on tomorrow. Yeah. You can tell I'm tired. I need some coffee. We'll see you tomorrow for a Patreon exclusive podcast.
We'll be here.
I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.